Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Trekyards. I am Captain Foley.
And I am Quan Hawkins, and welcome back, Stuart. I heard you went on a big cruise, space cruise.
I got the yacht parked out in the driveway there, and I'm just thinking maybe I should go for another spin. It's always fun to just, captain's prerogative, just jump in the yacht and take it for a spin, and go to Riza.
Although I heard you're not meant to park on the nacelles for your version. Did you manage to put the landing gear down, or did you forget again?
I never forget. It's fine. Didn't. Yeah, it's fine. Guys, in case you can't tell, we're talking about a yacht today, a captain's yacht, specifically the one from Lord X, the season finale. Who knew the Cerritos had a captain's yacht?
Should we call it the surprise yacht?
Yeah, I think maybe they stole it and it's not supposed to be there. Because why would a California class have a captain's yacht? This confused me, and I love Mike McMahon, but this is one of those things that I'm like, say what now? Because honestly, even in real life, like large ships, like heavy cruisers, will have like what's called a captain's yacht or a captain's skiff. The rest of the ships in the fleet wouldn't. There's no need for them. And even the Enterprise D, we never once saw Jean-Luc Picard actually use his until Enterprise E. I don't know. I'm just befuddled by it, and I don't know if I like it very much. But it's fine. It is what it is.
Well, and not just that, but if you take the Enterprise D as the original gold standard, right? So the Enterprise D's captain's yacht was the Casteau, and that was a non-warp capable, or had a warp sustainer ship. So it was very much, you go to a place, he takes it, he goes to planet, you maybe drop him off on planet, but he doesn't, it's not for travel, it's for jumps, it's for little bits and bobs, so it's very much his personal craft to go take on an away mission. So functionally, not particularly useful. A shuttle beats it instantly with functionality. Maybe, yes, it has more size and more ability to put stuff and cargo in it, fine, like a cargo ship, fine. Obviously, once you get to Enterprise Z, the captain's yacht is basically just a big shuttle. Full warp, full weapons, reasonably sized, great. But the California is older than the E, probably older than Galaxy even maybe, or round. It's not a new ship by any means. And so a ship that is either as old or oldish, like there wouldn't be a placement for a very capable captain's yacht, you wouldn't think. If the best ship in the fleet didn't have warp capable, and yes, it got refitted, but even that, were they then dedicated bonus space onto the hull to put a new captain's yacht in it just for Freeman, which would then ask for it? You know what I mean? Like just that if the best ship doesn't have a warp capable, why would this have it? And then what's the point of having it if it's not?
By this point, like you said, the Calypso and stuff was warp capable, so of course they'd upgrade anything else. And it's not attached to the bottom of the ship like the Gusteau or the Calypso was. This looks like it's in a bay of some kind. So it is essentially just a shuttle, a more capable auxiliary craft, much like a runabout. But I think maybe Freeman just calls it the captain's yacht, maybe.
Well, and obviously Runabout isn't a shuttle, as we've been told many times, is a full functional, very small spacecraft, much bigger, much capable, much higher warp. I mean, you're looking at the scale here, and we'll go into the interior in a minute, but it doesn't look, we know the Type 6A shuttle, they're pretty big. It doesn't look substantially bigger. I mean, it looks to be comparable to a Type 11, which is a big shuttle, but it's a big shuttle. And so if it is a captain's yacht, well, it doesn't seem to function like a captain's yacht.
I mean, this one looks like it's almost in a drop bay. Looks like the bottom doors would open. The thing that I don't understand is why it's like set up like a movie theater with like seats behind the ship. Like, what are you going to go sit and stare at your ship? Like, I mean, I love my car, but I'm not going to really necessarily sit in the driveway and stare at it.
Well, it's part of the part of procedure. Every time the captain takes a yacht out, 6 auxiliary officers have to come and clap. Good parting, Captain. Although since explicitly, Mariner said you haven't flown for years, and the mum's like, well, I applied a water skiff, means that she has never flown this captain's yacht. Because she doesn't count and say, I flew this thing last week. So she has never once parted this thing, hasn't parted a ship in potentially years and years and years. But there was an additional chunk added to the bottom of the saucer, which was an extended of a previous chunk. It may go in there, because there isn't many spaces on the hull this thing would even fit with a visible door. I mean, I'm fine with it being that's actually a landing bay and it goes forward, but they need a very distinct launch bay. Now, this literally might just be part of the shuttle bay, like a separate side door and it has to come out the shuttle bay and then turn and go out.
I'm just glad it's not a drop ship like we've seen on the Enterprise, because that's very much a flagship, speciality, I think, to have it on the bottom.
I mean, you say that, but even though it isn't that, the design is clearly reminiscent of the Enterprise E one. It isn't going for anything particularly original. The windows look the same. The front has a nice curve. There are top details that are literally from that shuttle. So it does feel just in that ilk, and so they're giving it a variation of the flagship's captain's yacht on a California class.
Yeah, like the lowest ship in the fleet, essentially, the most unimportant ship.
Now, I guess if you want to go really, maybe they'll make an argument when you talk to them. Well, after the Packleds, Riker was able to get her, direct communication with the engineers, and she was able to ask for the best captain's yacht of the fleet. It's like, okay.
Now, these look like last, generation's stock.
Because it would have been cool if it was a totally different design. I meme't you've gone to all this effort to draw it. Why do a literal Enterprise E one with a couple of tweaks? I mean, you can see by the nacelles that's not the same. That's how. Okay, the MSD stylish view, it isn't. It is more clumsy looking. Although I don't necessarily think that the top and the side, or the top and the top connect exactly. Feel slightly different. So it's not quite as elegant, but it's too familiar. It should have been a different. I mean, you can't say the Wave Rider and the Enterprise E and the Enterprise D have anything in common. Like, they're all radically different. So it should have been different, I think.
And that's the other thing. You mentioned the Wave Rider, and people have mentioned the Aero Shuttle as well. Those are not captain's yachts. Those were auxiliary craft designed for specific purposes. So I feel like that's what this is, but it just gets the moniker of captain's yacht. I think it might just get named that.
She wants to be fancy.
Yeah, if it's a specialist auxiliary craft that's on board, I'd be fine with that.
But you know what it should have been, though? And this would have made a far, far more sense, and it would have meant the same, but meant a lot more logically, if she had said, fine, I'll use my diplomatic craft. It's not a yacht, it's not a science ship, it's a dedicated custom captain diplomacy craft for second contact. That she
the
can go
second
down.
Contact limousine, yeah.
Yeah, in essence, yeah. But it's dedicated, so it hasn't the same tactical ability as a captain's yacht. My diplomatic craft.
Yeah. And weirdly enough, it's kind of configured weird. It actually is designed for a crew. You've got a captain's chair sitting in the center.
Well, that's the next view. Yeah, this is a weird one, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can actually see a captain's chair in the center and then 2 forward stations. So she might have used it. She just didn't pilot it. And because she's kind of going rogue here a little bit, that's why Mariner said you haven't piloted anything in a while. So I don't know. I mean, I like the layout of the inside. You get a sense of the scale. And it has a pool table, which is what they call the thing in engineering on the Enterprise D, in case you guys didn't know. So I thought that was actually kind of a neat feature.
I mean, the interior, I like the front view, although the top left, the top right looks like a blooming submarine with the... Wait, hold on. So if there's a ladder down, if we go back to the first picture, how is there a ladder into the ship? How are they going into the ship? Because it's right off to the side. Because the E just has there's a ramp. You just walk in the ramp. Why the hell is... I mean, it's not 2 decks, surely. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
What?
I know the Cousteau, though, if you look at some blueprints of it, has like 2 or 3 decks. It's just like a larger ship, like a UFO shape, but it's more like luxury. It's got like a bar and stuff in there. And so I think because it's on the bottom of the ship, there is a ladder to get down into it. This one, though, I don't know why they included that, because they do come down that ladder, I believe.
Yeah.
And Tendi and Rutherford are hiding in the little closet.
That's so
back
weird.
There.
I mean, I guess she's walking up the hull into that top module, and then there's a little door, a hatch that opens, and you go down. But then you have to then go down to the side. So there's a first rung and then a second rung. Anyway, that doesn't work. Interior still. No, I mean, yeah, it reminds me very much of some of the Enterprise E. I think there was a sketch made for the interior, or at least the Type 11. I mean, they're all kit bashed on the same sort of thing. Roundabout the Type 11 are the same shapes, just kit bashed a bit. So I see the front unit is very much the same thing. Definitely too spacious in the middle back. I mean, the front looks kind of fine scale wise. The side to back looks huge, like insanely big. And I think they already forget they did a captain's chair, because you would see a captain's chair in the Mariner shot. If she's at helm, the captain's chair should be behind her.
I think she's sitting in the captain's chair.
But the captain's chair's especially wide. She's isn't. You can kind of see how it's definitely wide on that. And also, if she's in the captain's chair, then she's not piloting it, which means why is she sitting in it if she's not going to do something useful? So I think because those both feel like different ships, like, aesthetically slightly.
I would have been fine with even at the back there where Captain Freeman is, if just behind her there was like a longer. It would have made it feel more like it was a yacht type deal. Because, like I said, the Cousteau is actually quite luxurious, and then the Enterprise E, being more of a battleship, it's more of an auxiliary craft designed for, maneuverability, fighting, things like that. It wasn't really a diplomatic thing that could go down to the planet, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's just a weird one, Stuart. It's just a bit of a weird one.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the reference to the Captain's Yacht and stuff. Like, I thought that was great, but...
And it was a great excuse to have another location to talk, which was great.
Yeah. And I don't buy for a second that a California-class ship has a Captain's Yacht. There's no need for one. That means every ship in the fleet has a Captain's Yacht.
Which I do not like at all.
No, neither do I.
As soon as you get to, like, small classes, where is one on a Sabre class? I mean, in Akira, why even, a lot of that stuff is designed for... I mean, yes, the Nova and the Equinox are designed for it. There's a dedicated science vessel, so you can logic that. The Enterprise E is a dedicated battleship, needs could have a secondary craft, etc. Now, there is... That bulk at the bottom of the ship, which we talked about previously, there was a... So, in the original Season 1 version, it was much thinner, like, to the point it was just a plate. This version, they had a white light to it. Now, the bulk is relatively big. If that isn't a drop bay, if it's actually a forward bay, that could be a front. I mean, it is a lit detail, which is not how a shuttle bay should look necessarily. But that could be potentially the bay, and it could go out that. And then you've got maybe stores of stuff either side to kind of hold it, and then it comes out, which would kind of scale work okay.
Because the way the bay it's in looks, it looks like there could be doors right in front of it. But it also, from the one shot, looks a lot like a drop bay to me. Just because of the way the sides slope like this.
I'm just trying to rationalise where... Because it could be one of those 4 cutouts along the hull, which never had any apparent purpose. They don't go all the way through. They just... But those are pretty thin. I would think this is bigger than that.
Yeah, we don't know. We need to talk to Mike McMahon and ask these relevant questions, guys. So
the important questions, Stuart. The important questions. But it was a great scene, great addition.
Yeah, so guys, comment down below what you thought about this, what you think it makes sense. Let us know your ideas on it. Drop bay, forward launch bay, where's it located? Why does the Cerritos have one? All those comments are very important. We want to hear your thoughts. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell icon to all, and join us anytime you can for a live. And
if you do, say hey, either via just a hey. It's free. It's available with a like and a hey, or a super chat if you can. Those literally do fund the channel, which is amazing because it allows you for direct communication to chat to us and our audience and put your thoughts, questions, and comments in. Often those comments can change the course of a conversation, and we love that. So please join if you can. Multitude of topics, both on Lower Decks and obviously project upcoming, etc. Join in for that. And if you want to support on a monthly basis, Patreon and joining the YouTube channel, all super important. And PayPal, and buying shirts, etc. It's all cool stuff in the description down below. Thanks in advance. If you can't, don't worry. If you can, thank you so much.
That's right. So until next time, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Conor Holmes.
And I'm off to Ryza. Bye, guys.
Bye.